The trade deadline is just around the corner, and although things have been clicking in New England, the Patriots certainly will be on the market to add some talent. I'm Alex Barth. He is Evan Lazar. Evan, we talked about some specific players yesterday, but those are just names that have been floated out. And often when the Patriots go out and make these moves at the deadline, a guy like a Kyle Van Noy, it's not a name we've heard a lot about. So let's open it up a little bit. Positionally, where are the Patriots looking?
Well, let's start with my number 3 position of need.
We'll go 3
here.
to 1. Yep.
I'm going to go pass catcher, right?
Okay.
Because I really think that there's a scenario here where they say, okay, there's nobody available on the defensive side of the ball that we think is really going to move the needle for us. But if we can get a guy like a Jared Cook or one of the 2 receivers in Denver, then we can just outscore teams, right? And then we can average 35 a game, and it doesn't matter that the defense isn't necessarily up to snuff. So I think that, Michael Lombardi floated on his podcast that the Patriots might be in the market for a wide receiver. Jared Cook's another name that we've obviously heard a lot about. Right. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. They don't have a lot of receivers under contract after this year. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they add a receiver at the deadline.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, I'm going to go with pass rusher. Excuse me, no. I flipped those. Number 2.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Number 2, I'm going to go defensive back.
Yep.
And I really don't think that their defensive backfield is all that bad right now. I actually think could be good enough to win a Super Bowl. But I think that elevating the entire secondary as a whole by adding some talent back there would elevate the entire defense as a whole. And I think that people want to look at the linebacker position, some of the other coverage positions. But at the same time, I think if you add another safety, add another corner that can bring some elevated talent, elevated athleticism to the group, then I think the whole defense gets better.
And that's the one position, they've been talked about the most. I think a lot of the rumors flying around about different corners working out. Obi Melifonwu, thank you.
You're welcome.
Earlier this week, I think, publicly that seems to be where they're most interested. And you already gave it away, but number 1.
Yeah, my bad. But pass rusher is definitely not a pro 2. Pass rusher is definitely number 1. I think that right now, you look at the issues on the back 7. If they had a front 4 that could really get after the quarterback, I think that all of a sudden mitigates some of the issues that we've seen on the back end. You have less time to cover. You have a little bit of help for the guys like Devin McCourty and Eric Rowe and some of the other guys that they have playing in the secondary. Right now, their pass rush is by far the worst element of this defense. The run defense is pretty good. The corner's playing pretty well. I think the safeties are getting exposed partially because of the pass rush. You add another pass rusher in there, I think that this defense would take a big step forward.
All right, so there you go. Pass catcher, defensive back, pass rusher. What do you think the Patriots' move will be at the deadline? Will they make one? Let us know in the comments down below or hit us up on Twitter @PatriotsCLNS. Reporting from inside Gillette Stadium, he's Evan Lazar. I'm Alex Barth.